Hi everyone, I'm Bsquiklehausen, and welcome to my second video talking about transit in city skylines, brought to you by Paradox Interactive. Hopefully by now you've seen my other video on low-capacity transit, as well as some Fairlife Milk's video on basic transit principles in the vanilla and console games. If you haven't, go check them out now. The links are in the top right of the video and in the description. Last time, I talked about low-capacity transit, particularly buses and trams, and today, even though we're talking about high-capacity transit, we're going to start with buses and trams again. While these are typically fairly low capacity, with fast frequent service and dedicated rights of way, they can be true rapid transit networks, almost like miniature metros or trains, but with the bonus of being able to become buses and trams again where you don't need the speed and capacity. Keep in mind though, that if you have a route that's partly in car lanes and partly on its own, if the traffic is bad enough where the lanes are shared, it can affect service where it needs to be the best, so always monitor these mixed networks to make sure that they're still working optimally. Bus rapid transit and light rail can both be built easily in-game. Just use the standalone tram tracks or custom bus-only roads, set high speed limits for even higher capacity, and if you want to get super creative, use some custom elevators and the elevated stop enabler to get a full grade-separated experience, totally isolating your transit system from the traffic below. Grade separation is a critical part of a good high-capacity network. Even if you have beautiful dedicated lanes, having intersections every block can be a massive bottleneck. The ultimate grade-separated network, of course, is the metro, or subway, which in the vanilla game exists only underground, so it can't be delayed by surface traffic. These networks are expensive to build and operate, but they can be built with extremely little impact to the surface, so your city can still be as dense as you want it. Most metro or subway systems work on the same sort of hub and spoke model that suburban transit uses, since the high capacity of the network is used to get people from residential areas to the central business district of a city. You can make sure your metro trains don't run empty by zoning higher density near the metro stations. This sort of thing is called transit-oriented development, and it's very important to get people out of cars. Having good bus connections at each metro station makes it easy for multimodal travel and can allow more commuters to use your metro network. Metro lines in city skylines are only 2 tracks each, which means that you often have to use parallel tunnels to gain any additional capacity along a line. When having too many trains in one place, it can create a massive traffic jam that reduces the overall effectiveness of the network, particularly at stations. Keeping each line to its own tracks and tunnel is a good choice, except when you have a specific need to run multiple services on a single track. Riders are happy to transfer between metro lines a short walk away from each other, so having several stations near each other can let riders change trains to get where they need to go. With the Mass Transit DLC's Monorail, you can create a grade-separated high-speed transit network solely on the footprint of your existing wide avenues. The monorail stations, however, are very noisy, so avoid putting them in residential areas or it'll make your residents sick. Using the monorail and bus hub can let you use buses to link people to the monorail without the loud station at their doorstep. If you mod your game, you have access to the fantastic Metro Overhaul mod, which rebalances Metro to something a bit more realistic, where tunneling is incredibly expensive, but you have the option of building surface-level or elevated Metro tracks to make it cheaper to build, with the sacrifice of taking up more space and making more noise. High-capacity transit usually does a very good job of serving an inner city or other dense area as well, though it rarely extends too far into suburbs, since the capacity isn't needed out there. Eventually, though, your city can sometimes outgrow a hub-and-spoke high-capacity transit system, and changing it to a grid system requires far more effort than just moving bus stops. Building a ring line to connect outer areas without having to go to the center of the city can give your sims more direct routes all over the city. It's one of the few times that looping lines are realistic as well. So now we have the dense inner city and less dense suburban areas covered with great transit, but people coming from even farther away still need car access to the city. I'll show you some examples of that in the next video, so be sure to subscribe to this channel to see it as soon as it comes out. Thanks again for watching, I'm Bsquiklehausen, and I'll see you next time.